Hi, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of Matcha Minutes, your 15-minute tech break with Women Go Tech. My name is Milda, and I want to warmly welcome our first guest, Andrea Coifman, to kick off this podcast. Fix me if I'm wrong later, but I read that you're originally from Venezuela and partially raised in Spain, and you hold a bachelor's degree in sound and image engineering, a master's degree in computer vision, and now you currently live in Vilnius, Lithuania, where you work at Devoteam as a senior data scientist. But that's not all. You're also a mentor at Women Go Tech in the data analytics track. So welcome, Andrea. Hola. Thank you so much for being with us. It's an impressive bio, so I'm sure you're very busy. To get started, let's get out of the way the most important question: coffee, tea, or matcha?
Okay, first of all, thank you for the introduction, and everything was perfect. I couldn't have described it better. I love coffee, so I'm a coffee person, even if it's without caffeine, which is weird, but sometimes you need to take without caffeine as well. It's just about the flavor.
Yes, I totally agree with you. So let's get started with some more serious questions. How did you get started in data science? What motivated you to choose this field?
Well, actually, I didn't really choose data science per se as a field. When I started my career in tech, actually, I think data science was not even a thing, or it was just a couple of years ago. Well, actually, a few years ago. And yeah, as you mentioned, I did sound and image engineering, which is it's a bit difficult name to explain, but it's like a part of telecommunications that specializes in acoustics and image processing. And after that, I jump into what would be one of the fields or subfields of AI, which is computer vision. Since I came with the image processing background, I wanted to do something a bit more fun. And, that was a really cool field to get into. And actually, when I started looking for a job, I had to browse a lot of job positions and, try to figure out what is that I could do out there. Because back then also, there was not a lot of offers for computer vision engineer in job market. So I just started comparing, what is that I can do. And then I started seeing that, data science was as a thing. And it matched pretty well with my background. And I started watching YouTube videos on people who were already data scientists back in the day and reading, getting more interested in what they were doing and what is all this about data. And that's how I started. How I got the first data science job, I guess, was a bit of my own means because actually I started in software engineering. As I said, it was also very difficult. I guess you have also read a lot of articles on how to become a data scientist, how difficult it is to get your first job. So I sort of started as a software engineer and then scratching little by little, knocking on doors. I can do this in software with your data. And that's how I sort of climbed within the same company as data scientist.
Yeah, that's amazing because, a lot of times people don't know. They even find a course or something, but they're not sure, what's next. Okay, I finished it. So that's really amazing. You need some kind of ambition and personal initiative. One thing that everyone usually loves is just getting a little sneak peek of how, your day looks like, it sounds so big, scientist and things, but what's the day-to-day? What's the nitty-gritty? How does it look like? You come in, you have your coffee, and then what?
I think it pretty much looks like any other tech person's day, to be honest. It's just that it can be a bit more dynamic. You obviously, we follow all these Scrum approaches, Agile. We all have our, stand-up meetings in the morning after a coffee. We gather, we have our meetings. It's just that every now and then you can get calls from other departments, from other, people within your company to have a bit more of collaborations. You're just not sticking only with your regular job, but you actually get to do way more than that. So my day-to-day, normally, I obviously try to accomplish what I have to accomplish for my own team, but it varies depending, if someone asks me or wants to know something about data or their own data, then I just jump into something different.
That's also exciting because it's not like you're alone, or lonely at your work, at your computer. You get to work with other people, right?
Exactly, yeah.
What would be the most exciting to you personally part of your job? What is if you get that task, you feel like, oh yes, I get to do it. Is there such a thing?
Sometimes, of course, I have obviously tasks that are not so exciting to myself, even within the same field, because it's very big and you get people to ask you things that you're not so interested in doing. But what I like the most is actually the enthusiasm that other people have on the work that you can do.
Yeah.
So I really like that because everybody's they read about Gen AI and then they just go directly to you and ask you, So what can we do now? And that part of the job is quite exciting because it involves a lot of innovation. You can be creative, and you can prove that you can do cool new things that not everybody's working with.
Yeah, innovation are really interesting. So maybe there was some, new technology or new solution that you've discovered recently that you're really excited about in your work or day to day.
Well, obviously, I guess everybody is also very excited about GPT nowadays.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, they just launched new features which are amazing, and I haven't got the chance to explore. But obviously, integrating new tools that are just coming out at an amazing speed.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
And you can, a lot of us use it, at work, but also in personal life. But in your work as well, it's very valuable, right?
It is, yeah. I use it. I mean, I was just, for example, I have to do a presentation. I just recently told my colleague like 5 minutes ago, and it's like in 1 month. And I just want to know a bit more of like resources that are out there. I get tired of just Googling everything. So I just went to, GPT, which has like integration with Bing, and asked about the resources. And I wrote an article about something similar. And one of the resources that popped up was my article. So it was very fun. It was like, really? Okay, cool. I'm top 5 articles in GPT right now. So things like that it's mostly like for fun. Yeah. And on a daily basis, you think, oh, what can I create for myself that I needed? Maybe I can do something with this.
So it sounds that you're pretty busy, like most of us. So I'm curious, how did you find the time and the desire to become a mentor for someone else? Is it some kind of something personal behind it, or you wanted to, advance your career maybe?
It's more personal. So as well, like when I started in what I mentioned before, like I didn't know how to become data scientist and something like that. And I didn't have someone like close by to tell me this is how I did. I went to find people out there, online, like on Twitter, on Instagram, even on YouTube, just texting a lot of people, like if they could guide me. So on LinkedIn, and eventually they became first my mentors, and then now we became friends, right, over a long period of time. Since I started having like more confidence in myself, maybe after 2-3 years of experience, I decided to do this. Women Go Tech was not the first platform I was using to guide women, but was doing it before. I feel like since a lot of people helped me out, I feel like I can also help somebody else.
Yeah, that's amazing. But I'm also interested, when you look at articles or talk to people about mentorship, there's often, the mentee gets a lot out of it. But I'm curious, what is it that the mentor, like, what did you get out of that relationship? You spend like 6 months with a person, meeting every month. So both personally and professionally, what would be something that you've gotten from it?
I like that, for example, I got in a lot of different profiles, people that are getting into the field. So I'm also very interested into, getting into a more managerial role. And this helps a lot because this helps you, deal with different type of personalities, different type of people with different backgrounds, which is very important in the field of data science. So if at some point I will want to, manage a team of people, I need to take into consideration that everybody will be different. And this already teaches me how to handle different type of people.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Do you have maybe a success story from your mentorship experience? Someone from your mentees deciding to actually apply for a job, get a job, or just, any kind of other enlightening moment?
I think all of them so far because success story for me, especially in these programs, is that they will realize what they want to do in life. I think majority of them are just getting into the program not even knowing what's next for them or what they want, or would this data field, because obviously everybody's from the data track, fit for myself. And even I had mentees that did not particularly got a job within like the data field, but they understood that that's not what they want, but they want this other particular job, and they also go and get it. And then maybe they just abandon the program because maybe it's not much interest for them, the data field anymore. But at least they achieve what they wanted in the first place, which was less to get to know themselves a bit better.
Knowing what you don't want is almost as important as knowing what you want. Yeah, and I think we've moved a lot from women being completely out of tech, not knowing what it is. They're more brave, more willing. But in your opinion, what are still some things that are might be stopping? Maybe your mentees shared something, some obstacles or just inner doubts.
A lot of them. No, I need to think. I think it really depends, because recently I had 3 mentees, I think, and it was really, really interesting because the 3 of them were at different levels. So it was more beginner, like not knowing anything about the field, to the point that it could already be even data scientists, machine learning engineers if they wanted to. So I think that for each of them, obviously the one with the most particular background for actually already being someone in the field who can, be even a mid-level person in this field, it's more about like confidence or having someone next to tell her, you can actually do this, that you fit within this profile like 100%. So I think that that would be like the most common obstacle, and I think it's just confidence on yourself.
Yeah, I agree, because everyone can learn. We all have the skill and the tool. You can develop that.
Exactly.
So to move to something a bit more personal, like you have work, you have mentorship, you have probably something you do for your own professional development. So how do you find the balance to have personal life as well, to go out to dinners and maybe dancing?
Everything, it's very important. Time management, obviously. I always say that the skill that, I don't know, somehow I learned it, maybe through going to university or something. It is extremely important. And, also it's important that you are in a safe environment at work where you can have this work-life balance. And I'm really happy the company I'm currently working for provides me with that. So I do find the time. I do love spending time outside work on learning new things. So maybe I remove that work-life balance out of myself for a bit, but I think it's manageable.
That's great, having a place where you work that you're not, feeling stressed out all the time to spend like 12 hours a day and not having, going home to dinner eating like microwave foods.
And then they also provide, with activities. So you even at work and, eat at your own time and eat with other colleagues, have that real work-life balance that we all need.
Okay, now I would like to ask you, maybe if you have something to share with our listeners or watchers, things that kind of inspire you, maybe, favorite podcast, maybe some Instagram account. It doesn't have to be technology necessarily. Like, where do you find inspiration, both personally and professionally?
I have a lot, actually. I have a big Instagram platform because I started posting a lot about, my own experience, and also on YouTube and Twitter. So I have an extensive following. Most of my inspiration I find there, because as I mentioned before, it's where, everything started for me in my career. And also people that I have met through those platforms have become like close friends to myself. So, they're not like famous people in AI that I could recommend, go to this specific person. But there are people in the field. There are people who are contributing in their own companies at a high level. They're working really hard. They know a lot about the field. And it's people you don't expect, to just be seen in a YouTube video. They don't work for OpenAI or these companies, right? So I found inspiration there because, it's people who are close to you, who you just text and, ask, what are you doing? What are you working on? We share experiences and things like that. Of course, I'm an old school person. I used to do a lot of courses in platforms like Coursera and stuff like that before, when I started my career. I still follow, their new newsletter, like in deeplearn.ai and, very basic places like that, and all YouTube channels. I could name a lot of them, but right now I don't even know exactly the name. But yeah, I think that most inspiration comes from people who are more close to you than just, I don't know, some famous person.
Yeah, that's really great, because you can, like you say, ask them something and they'll like kind of connection, even if it's via Instagram messaging, it's still, So before we wrap up, do you have any advice for women who are considering a career in tech, but they're kind of hesitant, to take that plunge? Like, what would you say to them?
I would say that if you have doubts, basically just ask, ask someone that is in the field to get a bit more of, as we mentioned before, inspiration, clearance, and definitely have confidence in yourself. I know it's, difficult. It's easy to say, sometimes difficult to have, but I think that's the most important part that we need. Just field is not as scary as it seems. Field that is very beautiful. It's really, easy to change in between different tracks, and just give it a go.
Just do it. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Exactly.
You mentioned you have a good Instagram account. Will you share what are your handles, where people can find you if they want to see what you're doing, what you're up to?
Yes, I created this brand called AI Coding. So it's AI coding.
Yeah, we'll share with everyone. So once again, thank you so much. I'm not going to keep you any longer, and all the best of luck. We hope to see you again at Women Go Tech in any capacity.
Thank you very much. It was very nice.
Thank you.